We are live. Welcome to episode 12 of the High Slot Podcast. I'm here today as always with the boys, Bob Deuce.
How are we?
Snipsky.
Yes, sir.
Our behind the scenes guy, Jay Butts.
How we doing?
And myself, Andrew Coco Curry. How we doing today, boys?
Doing great. Had a nice little week coasting into the show. Had a little sign-in day with Quincy College. Signed the letter of intent. That's the hat down below.
U of Q.
U of Q. Had three other guys sign as well. We're looking to put together a good hockey team, and we're in a tough little division. So I'm pretty excited for what's to come. So how about you, Vinny?
Not much, just chilling, being an average Joe. Went to the Frozen Four with the boys, which was tight, and got to see some good hockey, which was great.
Yeah, boys had a decent weekend. We'll get into that in a little bit. Masters this weekend. What'd you guys think? Scotty Chef, big win.
Nice little three-banger for the win. Double bogey on 18.
Love that. One of us.
Yeah. One of us.
Yeah, right.
One of us. Tiger made the cut. I think he played pretty well for someone that has one leg, considering. So, I don't know. Like, it was kind of like a boring Masters, though, because no one was really in it. Maybe for like 2 seconds, but it's a Masters.
Yeah,
so.
Scotty Chef had a pretty decent lead the entire time. Cam Smith cut it mad close at one point, and then just shanked into the water on the par 3. I was like, dude. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, he caught it within one stroke and like had all the momentum, and then just bang, water, plunk.
Yeah, I said John Rahm on the last pod, but I completely sandbagged and ended up putting a outright winner on Cam Smith, so I was sweating for like a couple of days. I was like, I saw plus 1,600. I was like, Rahm's outright favorite. Didn't even know when I picked it on the pod, so condolences to whoever heard.
Yeah, I'll take my little moment of shame here. I said last week on the pod, Tiger wouldn't have made the cut. So give me the shame, boys. Shame me.
Shame.
I don't know what I don't know. Whoa. Don't take it. I don't know what I was thinking saying Tiger was going to make the cut because, it's just Tiger. Guy's an absolute beast. I mean, he did fall apart on Sunday. Like, what did he finish? Like 7 over.
Oh, he was like plus 10.
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
I mean, I wasn't that far off. I mean, he did look good the first 2 days, but you could tell that leg was bothering him. There was one shot. He had a terrible shot, and he tried breaking a club over his leg. I think it was his bad leg.
Yeah.
And the club didn't break. And then you could tell after that, he's like limping, like grimacing after every shot. I'm like, dude, come on.
Every single time he hit a drive, he'd use his driver as like a cane to walk to his ball, and I was like, oh man, this is tough to watch. Like it was tough, definitely tough to watch him because he's definitely hurting.
Yeah, he started off hot first 2 rounds, and then he just battling uphill the rest of the tournament.
Good to see Tiger back, though. I think he'll be back in rare form pretty soon. Always good for the game of golf when Tiger's in it. Like you said, Masters wasn't that exciting, but if Tiger wasn't in it, I don't even know if I would have tuned in, honestly.
Yeah,
I would have, but still. Like,
it just wasn't close though, which kind of sucked. Like it was just kind of like it was close for like 2 seconds. But Scotty Scheffler, it's his year, man. He hasn't won a Master at all until this. A major tournament until this year,
or even a tournament,
in general on the PGA Tour. And now he's just like taking the whole PGA Tour by storm, winning the Masters and all. So it's good.
Scotty
good for him.
Doesn't know.
Yeah,
Scotty's year. Yeah, he's off to a hot start this year.
Yep.
Could be what's the award called like for best golfer of the year? Was it just like you win the FedEx?
We should leave that for the scramble.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing too much golf.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're not that big into golf. But we got a lot to talk about on the hockey side of things. But before we do, we got a quick word from our sponsor, At Ease Barbershop. So if you looked in the mirror lately and thought to yourself, wow, I look like a bum, then head over to At Ease Barbershop located in Quincy or their brand new location that just opened up in Stoughton, Mass. Go see our guy Linsky and other certified master barbers who are able to do all types of hairstyles and haircuts. They've serviced many different types of hair textures, and there's nothing they cannot do when it comes to barbering. They offer their clients a wide range of services from straight razor shaving, hairstyling, beard grooming, and even eyebrow trimming for those of you with those bushy brows. They also specialize in fresh fades, tapers, designs, mullets, just ask our guy Jay Butts, business cuts, men's regulars, and more. To avoid those long waits and lines, book your appointment now at www.ateasebarbershop.com. That's www.ateasebarbershop.com. Go to At Ease Barbershop today. Our guy Linsky will have you looking good and feeling good so you can be wheeling and dealing on a Friday or Saturday night. That's At Ease Barbershop. Go check them out. All right, why don't we jump into some news in the world of hockey? So The boys, we went to the Frozen Four on Thursday, the semifinals, couple tilts. It was Michigan versus Denver. That game was a tilt. We actually got there a little late. That game started at 5. I think we got in there right as OT just ended. Denver ended up potting the winner in OT. But we did get to see the nightcap, Minnesota versus Minnesota State, Battle of Minnesota. And we saw Minnesota State come out on top by a score of 5-1. They looked pretty dominant. What was your boys' thoughts on the Thursday night games?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to see the Denver one, Denver, Michigan. It was a hell of a game, OT. Pretty much like all those Michigan players just signed their entry level contracts after that game. All of them, like Owen Power and Matty Beniers, made their debuts last night. And but the Minnesota State game and Minnesota game was pretty cool to watch. It was the kind of North Quincy game, you know what I mean? Like it had that type of atmosphere. A lot of it was pretty rowdy in there. Minnesota State just has a great defensive core. They had the Hobie Baker in the crease of
McKay.
Dryden McKay. Those were two great games. And how about you, Vinny? What's your thoughts on those semifinal games?
It was like a rock fight for like a couple periods, and then Minnesota State pulled away. Like that first goal should have never been a goal by Minnesota.
Oh yeah, terrible turnover.
It was just bad neutral zone turnover. He didn't have any help behind him, the defenseman, so he got pickpocketed. McKay was left out to dry, but I mean, he played solid after that. Like Minnesota, like we were very close. We were right behind the penalty boxes, so we saw like very up close. Yeah, Minnesota just dominated other than that one play, which was great to see.
Yeah, Minnesota State, dude, they just absolutely parked the bus, pack it in, tight. Don't let up many shots on net. The Mavs, they had a hell of a game on Thursday. Let up the first one and then had 5 unanswered. Ended up, dominating the second half of that game. I know we didn't catch the Michigan game, but dude, that must be disappointing for that Michigan team with all the talent they had and not to even make the natty. And they were kind of like the clear-cut favorites almost. It seemed like you said, Owen Power, Beniers, Kent Johnson. That team was loaded. Johnny Beecher, I think he just signed with. I don't know if he signed with the Bees, but we have his rights. But yeah, I can't believe that team didn't, go on to, at least make the natty ship. That's got to be disappointing.
Yeah, all those Michigan fans, like we didn't see the game. We saw the aftermath, and they're like, dude,
they were pissed.
Didn't they were throwing shit at us, right? And we were saying,
one guy was pissed. He threw like a pretzel at me. I looked over. I'm like, all right, bud, like your team lost. I don't know why
that guy was shit faced.
He was the sad thing about it is like the whole Michigan thing is that like probably all the Michigan fans flooded. Yeah. Like Boston thought it was their year. There was more Michigan fans than anyone other than maybe Mini State.
Yeah, Mini State, they were showing up big time on Saturday for the championship. But yeah, I remember we got off the elevator and we kind of heard like the game end. Bob goes to a fan who's walking by as a Michigan fan. He's like, "Oh, who won?" And the guy just like looked pissed and just didn't say anything to us. We're like, "All right, sick, dude." Like,
I was like, "I guess Michigan lost."
Yeah, we're like, "All right, Denver won then."
Yeah, we ran into Matty Beniers too. Like when we were walking through.
Yeah, we were walking by, looked to my right, and I had like double take. I'm like, "Dude, that's Beniers." Me too. Then Bob's like, "Matty, what's up?" And he's like on the phone in his suit, just looks. He's like pissed, but
dressed to the nines.
Yeah, his suit was like top notch. Yeah. It was baby blue and it was just tailored to him and shit. I was like, this kid's a fucking pro.
He's on the phone with Seattle, like, I'll be on the next flight.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I think he probably was on the phone with
he
Seattle.
He had to have been,
because he was there next
day. He signed, yeah.
Direct deposit hit that minute.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, signing bonus.
He's like, send me my fucking money.
But yeah, those Thursday games were a couple tilts. And then Saturday, we were back at the Garden for the natty ship. Denver versus Mini State. We were pulling for Mini State because our boy Johnny McGinnis, former Maverick. But they dominated for about the first 2 periods. I think Denver had like 4 shots on net or something like ridiculous. Like it was all Minnesota State. They just couldn't bury. They held a 1-0 lead. Then in the third, Denver took over.
Couple power plays for Denver to kind of help them out. I think the first goal wasn't a power play, but then they started taking penalties, Mini State, and Denver just capitalized.
Yeah, Denver buried 2 empty netters too.
Yeah, next thing you know, it's 3-1, like first 10 minutes.
Yeah, after like the first empty net, I was like, oh man. Like it was just over after that. And then they buried another a second empty netter, and I was just like, all right, we might want to get out of here.
I guess they have like a ton of drafted players. Like obviously you have Bobby Brink, who was a first rounder. He signed first round 14th pick by Philly.
Yeah,
He played there. He played last night with the JV squad because they stink. But,
Yeah, and then that defenseman from Mini State, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's like Amut or whatever.
Yeah, it's
he just signed with the Avalanche.
Did he?
Yeah, dude, the Avalanche are loaded.
And they grabbed the Ben Myers kid from Minnesota.
Dude.
Yeah,
Avalanche, like Joe Sakic is literally just.
Did Dryden McKay sign?
No, he's undrafted, so he's
Still unsigned.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah,
signed.
so he's a free agent.
Winner.
Yeah,
I think does he have to wait until the end of the year to like sign with someone? Or?
No, he can sign whenever.
Oh yeah, because Trevino signed with the Rangers. He's the same deal.
Yeah.
Who needs a goalie?
A lot of teams. But yeah, Dryden McKay, first goalie to win the Hobey Baker since 2001. Ryan Miller.
Yeah.
Ryan Miller,
Hall of Famer too.
Yeah.
Hell of a
So, yeah,
he was goalie for Team USA.
He joined some hell of a company right there. Dryden McKay. Yeah. Dryden McKay sweepstakes still going. I wonder who's going to grab him.
Maybe the Oilers.
Oh my God! After last night, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, dude, those goalies are blind, legally blind.
Koskinen just loves to play when we gamble against him.
But yeah, I guess I mean,
much,
even though I thought Mini State was the better team for 2/3 of that game, got to give credit where credit's due. To Denver, they were never really out of it. They just hung around and then they capitalized when it matters the most. So congrats, you Denver, the Pioneers. Was it 9th national championship in school
That's all
history?
they do over there in
Tied
Denver.
for most all time.
That's all they do over there in Denver is
Bobby
play hockey.
Brink and the boys got it done. Guess it wasn't meant to be for the Mavs. Maybe next year. Officially, the podcast is now a free agent.
We're a free agency podcast.
For a college fan base. So someone's got to win us over.
Yeah.
A couple teams, are the front runners, but we're a free agent podcast when it comes to college fan base.
Hit us
because
up.
the great Jerry York just retired today for BC. Don't like that as a BC fan.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a sad
He's
day.
the greatest college hockey coach of all time. So I don't know what direction the BC hockey program's going in, but we're officially free agents. So some college teams got to prove themselves, and we'll hop on board. Right now, it might be Minnesota State, the front runner, but
I like Northeastern.
Dunzo. All right, so we were kind of just talking about them, but Owen Power and Matty Beniers, the number 1 and number 2 overall picks in the 2021 NHL draft, both made their debuts last night. Owen Power of the Sabres and Matty Beniers of the Seattle Kraken, both from the U of Michigan. What were your thoughts on the young studs' debuts last night?
They played well. From what I saw with Owen Power, he was +2, and I think he logged like 20+ minutes on the ice.
Yeah, I think a little over 20. Yep.
Yeah, so he had a great showing, really good showing on a Sabres team that's climbing up the ladder right now. I think they're going to be a real good team the next couple of years coming down the pipeline. And then Matty Beniers on the Kraken, he had an assist last night.
Yeah,
and
first career assist.
Yeah, that kid's just a natural, man. Local, good kid, whatever, and he's already producing. So yeah, shit's crazy watching it.
Big like draft pick for the Sabres. The way they're playing, like it's just up and up right now. The Owen Power, him and Darlene together, that's gonna be a problem. Owen Power like kind of reminds me of like a Chris Pronger type of player. I bet there's gonna be a lot more maybe offensive ability there, but he's just a big kid who can hold his own back there.
Yeah, dude. When I looked at Power last night, I watched a little bit of that Sabres-Leafs games. We'll get into that in a minute. But, yeah, dude, he looked sturdy. Real sturdy, smooth, poised, calm as can be for a kid making his debut like that. Like, didn't see, like, any nerves in him at all. He already looks like a tenured vet. Like, if you just seen him play, you would have thought he's been in the league for, like, 5, 6, 7 years. That's the way he was playing last night. There was a 2-on-1 with Giordano and Matthews, and he just played it perfectly, like, intercepted the pass in the middle, like, just like already has that pro mindset like that, and he's gonna be a problem at the next level, I think.
Yeah, Beniers, he's just an unreal two-way guy that Seattle Kraken are gonna build around. He's gonna be a first line center one of these days.
It also helps that both those players were in the Olympics this past year too, so that definitely got them ready to play in like a high level competition, like especially in the NHL level, because they already got exposed to such a big level that they're like at the NHL. It's probably they're probably feeling nerves, but I think they're ready.
They played at every level.
Obviously, last night, like they showed that they can play at that level. So
yeah, I think it definitely helps out Owen Power. The fact that he's an absolute moose at 6'6", 215, like that big body, that's going to help you a lot in the NHL. Great vision. He looks like a top pair NHL defenseman. I know it's been one game, but he looks legit as can be.
It's going to be a home run, I think, for them.
Yeah.
He's the best player on that Michigan team. by far.
Oh, yeah. Number 1 overall pick for a reason. As a defenseman, too. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then, Matty Beniers, dude, another kid. He looked smooth as hell last night, too. And again, like, calm as can be. It must just be like, playing for a top-tier program like Michigan, playing in some big games. This probably wasn't as big of a jump for them as like most players who play in like a smaller school, and don't play in as many big games as they did. But he looked wicked comfortable out there. Great dish for his first career assist. He found someone on the back door. And like Snipsky said, he's a skilled two-way guy up the middle. And as we know, all the successful teams have that, guy up the middle. Like you can't, you're not a top-tier team unless you have that top center like McDavid in Edmonton, McKinnon with the Avs, Bergie with the Bees. Like all the top teams have that guy up the middle. And it looks like Beniers has a lot of experience already, being in the 2021 gold medal World Junior team, and like Bob said, the USA Olympic team this winter. He's got a lot of experience already. He's carrying a lot of baggage with him. Both those guys probably going to have hell of a careers. I liked what I saw from them in only their first game. They looked like pros.
Yep.
Yeah. They've been mentally preparing for this. Like they've been like 1-2 picks for like 2 years now, so they knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, they're gonna play in their first game right off the bat. I'm sure they knew.
They probably want to stick at Mich one last year with that loaded team that they had and try and go for the chip, but guess it wasn't meant to be. But they'll be just fine. Oh, yeah. They're gonna rip it up in the NHL for the next years to come. And
for a long time.
Yeah, there's some definitely skilled talent in those two. All right, so I don't know if you heard, guys, but there's a new owner of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's the Buffalo Sabres.
Yep.
The Sabres, they beat the Leafs for a third straight time this season, and they're the only team this year to defeat the Leafs 3 times in the 2021-2022 season. The Sabres skated to a 5-2 win in Toronto last night. Craig Anderson made 23 saves. Darlene and Rasmus Asplund each had a goal and assist in the win. What are your thoughts on the Sabres beating the Leafs for the third straight time?
You got something?
Oh, yeah. I love the Sabres. Let's go Sabres. But good for them. Ever since I saw them beat, I said this last pod, I saw them beat Toronto in that Heritage Classic. I jumped on the bandwagon. The Leafs, they're like trick or treat, honestly. You don't know what you're getting from them night in, night out. That's why if I was a Leafs fan, I'd be so scared. There might be another first round exit. Like if you can't beat a team like Buffalo consecutive games or like lose a season series to them, you're probably all done.
Yeah, like I 100% agree with you. It's not a good look for the Leafs at all. No. And like I said earlier, that the Sabres are on the uphill like climb right now. Like they're about to become like a good team, like a playoff contending team in the next couple of years. And yeah, I mean, like you said, like they came down on a 2-on-1 against Owen Power. They can't even get by a kid it's his first NHL game. You know what I mean? Like on a 2-on-1. So yeah, the Kings. I mean, not the Kings. The Leafs had to start figuring something out. That's for sure. Yeah,
what I thought was the most impressive is that Matthews and Marner are both held pointless in the game last night. Matthews that snapped his 16-game point streak, and Marner's lost his 13-game point streak last night too. You can say they had an off night. That's what the coach was saying. Oh, we didn't show up tonight. We just had an off night. I just think the Sabres, they're just absolutely in the Leafs' head at this point, and they just have their number. Like I said, they literally own the Leafs. And like Snipsky was saying earlier, if you can't beat a team like Buffalo, I'd be sweating if I was a Leafs fan right now heading into the playoffs. Like, yeah, they've been hot. I think they had won like 6 or 7 in a row heading into that game. But, I guess it's just one slip up. But going back to last game, the Heritage Classic, where, you saw Matthews lost his cool, cross-check Darlin, and end up getting suspended 2 games. The Sabres just know how to get under the Leafs' skin. And, if I'm a team like the Bruins, I'd be taking some notes right now, jotting down some notes on what the Buffalo Sabres are doing, because whatever they're doing is working. Beating the Leafs 3 times in a row, they're just getting under their skin, playing them hard, playing them gritty, giving them no space, and I guess that's the key to beating the Leafs.
Yeah, because they're not really like I think they're trying to become a team that has an identity that they can play in rough and tough games, but like if you're just getting bullied around by one of the teams that are the bottom barrel of the league right now, that's definitely concerning. 100% concerning.
Yeah, the Leafs have just kind of been a mirror of themselves last couple years. I don't see anything changing for them.
Yeah, they got hot, but I think they're starting to come back down to earth a little bit, and we'll see what they see if they can get out of the first round of the playoffs. But But yeah, I think that really opened up a lot for some of the teams that potentially could be facing Toronto in the first round. Seeing what the Sabres did last night kind of exposed the Leafs a little bit.
Good trade, Buffalo. Good trade.
Yeah, hell of a trade.
Speaking of that trade, so the Vegas Golden Knights, they got some much-needed help as Max Pacioretty and their captain Mark Stone both returned to the ice last night against the Canucks. Vegas fell short to the Nucks by a score of 5-4 in overtime, but they picked up a much-needed point. Vegas is currently 3 points behind Dallas for the final wildcard spot with only 8 games remaining. Does Vegas have what it takes to make a last-minute push for the playoffs, boys?
Yeah, I mean, having Mark Stone and Patches back in your lineup, that's definitely going to fire the boys up. And with that roster right now, I mean, it's a little late in the season for them to come back. It's going to be tough for them to get into that final wild card spot. But like on paper, like I can see them do it. You know what I mean? Like it's Vegas. They have all these players. Like Stoner Patches is back. Like they got Jack Eichel. Their defense is pretty sturdy too. Like it's just Lehner just comes and goes. He's kind of just like, if you got to have him on a good night. And yeah, I think they can do it, but it's gonna be very, very tough.
Yeah, I think Vegas could catch them. They play them once coming up. They have a bunch of games left, but they're not all cupcakes. I mean, they got New Jersey, they have San Jose, Chicago coming up. Those are games you got to have, I'd say. They're playing Calgary next, which I don't know about that one. But, yeah, they play Edmonton, Washington. All these teams are scrapping up. So, and St. Louis to top it off, how they're playing well. I want to say yes, but maybe my gut's saying no. I have to go with yes because I said on prior pods that when they got Eichel, they were going to make a run. So, and they're healthy. They're first time healthy with Eichel, like both those guys, all three of those guys. See, hopefully. I mean, their goaltending's pretty weak, but
I mean, yeah, on paper, like they got one of the best rosters in the league on paper. But I'm gonna say no. I think it's too little, too late for the Knights right now. I'd say they need to go at least 6-2 in their last 8, if not better. You know, the Stars have been playing well. They can potentially catch the Kings for the 3rd spot in the Pacific. But again, both those teams have been playing well lately, so I don't really see Stars or Kings slipping up. Knights, they got the Flames up next, like Snipsky said. Then the Oilers. Then they got the Caps, Stars, and Blues all sprinkled in there. You know, those are some all playoff teams. Going to be some tough games to win. They're going to have to beat teams like that if they want any chance of getting into the playoffs here. Offensively, they're stacked. Like we said, Pacioretty, Stone, Eichel, Stevenson, you know, Marchessault. They're loaded. Defensively, they're solid too.
Yeah,
you know, they got a strong back end. It's their goaltending for me, man. That's where they struggle. I know we've talked about it on past pods. Lehner ain't it. Lehner ain't it between the pipes. The best goalie, honestly, they've had is that Logan Thompson kid. He's been their best goalie this year.
They were riding him for a little bit.
They should be riding him. I know like Lehner came and went with some injuries, but Logan Thompson, he hasn't played like too much. He's been playing more in the second half of the season, but he's been their best guy. I don't want to get Bob all fired up here, but getting rid of Fleury was the worst mistake that franchise ever made.
Beating a dead horse.
Yeah, I'll beat that horse all night. Kidding me?
But yeah, I think it's too little, too late for the Knights. I don't see them getting in the playoffs here. Stars been hot, Kings been hot. Vegas gonna have to go on some sort of streak here, like 7-1, I think, to even get in the playoffs, and I don't see it happening.
It's doable, but it's very improbable.
Yeah, I mean,
if that makes any sense.
They're lucky. There's like how many games left? 7 or 8.
They got 8.
Yeah, I mean, if they had like 3 or 4, I'd be like, call the hearse.
Yeah, it's definitely not impossible, but it's definitely an uphill battle for the Knights right now, and definitely going to be disappointing for them if they don't end up making the playoffs here, because like we said, that roster's stacked. They'll be fine, though. Like most of those guys, aren't aging just yet. They got a couple, years left. They got their window's closing a little bit. They're kind of similar to the Bruins, but yeah, for Vegas, I think you're going to have to regroup in the offseason, just look to next year. And if they stay healthy next year, they could be back in the Western Conference Finals as soon as next year. Like, they'll be all right. But this year, I just think injuries plague them. They got to do something about the goaltending. That's a problem. But yeah, I don't see Vegas getting into the playoffs, unfortunately, for them.
Got to call up McKay.
Yeah, Dryden McKay. Get the call to Vegas. All right, the Florida Panthers, a.k.a. the Cardiac Cats, have now won 8 straight games after their overtime win on Tuesday night against the Anaheim Ducks. the Cats are tied for the league's President's Trophy, which is the team with the most points in the NHL. And let me ask you boys this: are the Cats the team to beat in the East?
As of right now, yeah, they're playing unbelievable. Claude Giroux is fit in that team so well, especially on the power play. I think he's in the bumper mostly. He's in the slot, high slot, ripping cheese from there, and he also plays on the PK too. And he just like does everything. He's just like literally a Swiss Army knife on that team right now. And Barkov's just being Barkov. Hoobie Doobie Doo's making all those magicianal passes. And the goaltending's pretty good. Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight have been complimenting each other pretty well. Like it's just their defense is kind of like lackluster because they don't have Ekblad right now, but they said he's going to be back for the playoffs, but we'll see. Because they there's a lot of shootouts though. What I've seen, it's all the games are just like going over, which is cool and all, but like at the end of the day, if you're trying to win in the playoffs, if you're letting up like 4 or 5 goals a game, that's no good. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's not really on the goaltenders. It's mostly what I've seen is just their defense isn't really there.
Snifsky, what's your thoughts?
Yeah,
on the Cats?
For my favorite, I would say Carolina still. It's good that Florida got on a win streak like that. It's good for them, but just looking at the opponents is nothing that blows you away from who they play. They kind of had an easy schedule through it all, like Anaheim, Nashville, Buffalo twice. Toronto, New Jersey, they're good. They're wins. It's the NHL, but that was a good point you guys said about the goals, though. Like, I have more issues about their goaltending than I do their defense. I think their defense is really good. I don't think Bobrovsky's like that. Like somebody you can count on as like your number one. He's hurt a lot, but he's also very inconsistent. I like the kid Spencer Knight. He's still young. Like, he's kind of on Swayman's better, but I think he's in kind of like that kind of deal where they don't want to give him number one yet and, like, trying to still season the kid.
Him,
yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, I still think Carolina's the team to beat easily, just the way they're built, and they're so solid on D, and their goalies are both could be starters.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. This Panthers lineup is absolutely stacked. Like Huberdeau, Barkov, Ekblad. Yeah. He'll be back for the playoffs, is what they're saying. Even though, and then they have depth too. Reinhart, Duclair, Giroux's fitting right in. Verhaeghe, Bennett, Lundell, Uyghur, Marshman. Like, they can go on for days there. But yeah, I'm gonna say it. They currently have a weakness, and it's goaltending. Bobrovsky, he's allowed 3 or more goals in 8 of his last 10 starts. And when it comes to the playoffs, that's not gonna win you games. You're gonna need a goalie to steal you a game. A game or two here and there. You're going to need like a shutout, 1-goal performance. Bobrovsky hasn't been it lately. Spencer Knight could be the guy, but again, he's young. That's asking a lot from a young goaltender like that. I said it back at the All-Star break. My Eastern Conference final prediction was Canes versus Panthers. I had the Canes going to the Cup, and I'm sticking with that. The Canes are just as deep as the Panthers, in my opinion. And they have the goaltending advantage with Steady Freddy in between the pipes. Freddy. So I think the Canes are the team to beat out East. Like, as a Bruins fan, who would I rather face in the playoffs? 100% the Panthers over the Canes. Canes are a terrible matchup for the Bruins and really any team. Canes have our number. Yeah, Panthers, great team, but if I had to choose, I'd rather take on the Panthers in the first round.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, as of right now, like, obviously the Panthers, because like they're absolutely like on a tear right now. They're the team to beat right now. But obviously, like, I had like the whole like Canes going to Stanley Cup final where like we are like pretty high on the Canes. But as of right now, I think the Panthers are the team to beat, and then I think just like as the Canes are kind of like teeter-tottering, but I kind of like that because usually good teams that are like kind of like stumbling into the playoffs are the ones that catch fire and ends up making a run. So
and the Canes have stayed relatively healthy too.
Exactly.
Like,
yep.
And their forechecks are miserable. I would not want to play against them.
Yeah, Sebastian Aho.
They dump the puck in and they're just there. You like think you get the puck in the corner and they're just already there taking it from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing though that kind of has been an advantage for the Panthers is they're literally called the Cardiac Cats because they've been in so many close games, and that's gonna definitely help them out come playoff time when you're in a tight game. Like, they got guys who can bury those big goals late in the game. It's the goaltending for me. You're not going to be winning like 7-6 games in the playoffs, that's for sure.
Nope.
So we'll see. I mean, definitely a team to watch out for in the playoffs. I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they get bounced like first round or something just because of weaknesses in,
it's just
in the back
they
end.
give up way too many goals. Yeah, they score like 6 or 7 a game, but they're letting up 5 or 6.
Yeah, getting Ekblad back could be a whole different story. But we'll see. What's his health? What's his status going to be like?
Isn't it lower body? Isn't it lower body too?
Yeah, I think it's lower body. Maybe.
If it's nuts, I mean, it looked pretty serious from what I saw. Like he was getting helped off the ice. That was a couple weeks ago though. So stuff could have changed.
Yeah, I'll tell you this though. Fade the public. Public's all over Panthers. I guarantee you they lose early on.
Hey.
All right, so there's no denying that Toronto's Auston Matthews has been on an absolute heater lately. He has scored 50 goals over the course of his last 50 games played, and he's the first player to do so since Mario Lemieux, Super Mario, back in the 95-96 season. He leads the league right now with 58 goals, and he has the Rocket Richard Trophy on lock. But my question for you guys is, does he also have the Hart Trophy, the league's MVP, locked up too?
I would think so. Because he's pretty much the whole entire offense, man. Like, I mean, you got like Marner and everything, but it's mostly just like Marner's feeding him the goals. That's mostly what it is. Nylander's all right, and Tavares is just like a leader in that forward core and everything. But Auston Matthews is the reason why the Leafs are in the position that they're in right now. Like during that whole win streak they had, like that crazy win streak when they ended up coming, they became second in the Atlantic and all that. And if it wasn't for Matthews, like the Leafs wouldn't be who they are, in my opinion. So I think he does have the MVP on lock.
The MVP I don't look at as much. I mean, like when it comes to playoff time and so but I would probably give it to McDavid. Matthews is gonna get 60, which hasn't been done since Super Mario, which is definitely he'll probably get it. But if I was to look at like points and how your team's trending, I'd probably give it to McDavid.
I mean, I hate giving the Leafs or any of their players by that means any praise at all, but you got to give credit where credit's due here. There's guys out there that are having unbelievable seasons, like Johnny Gaudreau out in Calgary, McDavid, like Snipsky said, out in Edmonton, Shesty for the Rangers, he's had a hell of a year. Roman Josi with the Preds. No discredit to any of those guys, but Matthew's season I think has truly been historic. Obviously, he leads the league in goals by a large margin, 58 goals. The next closest, I think, Kreider at 50 or 51.
He got 50 last night.
Draisaitl got 51.
Draisaitl's got 51 now. The 50 and 50 games, we haven't seen that since 95. He's had other accomplishments as well, though. He scored the most goals by a U.S.-born player in a single season. He broke that record, scoring his 56th goal. He also broke the Leafs record for most goals in a single season.
Wait, so who was it? Was it Roenick?
It was Stevens, Kevin Stevens.
Ken Stevens?
Yeah.
Kevin. Was he the one from Scituate?
He's
the
played for the Penguins.
Penguins. He was on Lemieux's line.
Yep. So, he broke that record. He also has the highest goals per game average since Lemieux back in that 95 season. He's got the most primary points per game in the league. And if you're into all those sabermetric stats, he leads the league in WAR, which is wins above replacement. Oh, and he's second in the league in takeaways. So he is doing it at both ends, not just offensively.
So when you say primary points, you mean 5-on-5 points?
They're either like goal or primary assist.
No. So he wasn't the second assist.
Primary points.
So that season resume alone just pretty much is like just give him the Hart right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's not really an argument because all those other guys that you just mentioned though that are in the running for it are all going to win their respective position.
Yeah.
Like you got Shetsy's going to win, Vezina. Yossi's definitely winning the Norris because if he gets 100 points, that'll be the first time.
As a defenseman?
Yeah, dude, that's not like if you don't give it to him, it's a fucking crime.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Cale Makar, don't get me wrong. I think he's a generational talent, but Yossi is just playing out of his mind, and he's the only reason. He's like Matthews. He's like the only reason why the Predators are even in a wild card spot. So
that's impressive for a defenseman to do.
Yeah, exactly. He's a defense. He's not even forward. Dude.
Yeah, I think you gotta give Yossi the Norris. I said back in the All-Star break, Shesty for the Hart because he was playing out of his head at that time. He cooled off a little bit, but he's still in the run. He's still up there with the rest of these guys. But yeah, I think it's really Matthews' trophy now. He's ran away with it. He's been on this absolute tear. But I'll say this, Leafs fans, take your regular season accomplishments because you ain't getting out of the first round. Guarantee it, especially if you get the Bees in the first round. No way. No way you guys get out of the first round again. I don't see it. So, Matthews, hell of a season. Have your accomplishment. Take your Hart Trophy. But what matters is come playoff time.
You won't be invited to the second round. You heard it here first.
Invitations lost in the mail, Vinny said.
I ripped it up and threw it away.
So why don't we get into our local guys, the Boston Bruins. So since the last time we met, the Bruins have gone 1-2. They had a big OT win over the Lightning in Tampa on Friday night, but then they lost their next two games against the Caps and the Blues, both by a score of 4-2. What's your thoughts on the Bees lately, boys?
It's just the injuries with Lindholm and Pasta. We're just missing two cornerstones to our team right now. And, I mean, even without those two players, we beat a really good Lightning team on the road in overtime. That's unbelievable from my standpoint. And those other two games, the Capital just brought a playoff intensity, which is good for the Bruins, obviously, because you want that playoff intensity, like get your feet wet with that type of gameplay, in my opinion, that aggressiveness, that chippiness. Yeah, Grizzly got hurt, like people were getting hurt, but like that's just playoff hockey. Like someone on Twitter talked to me saying like, hey, like yeah, like there's no room for that in the game, like blah blah blah. But it's like, dude, it's an aggressive game. It's hockey. Like especially during the playoffs, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna take hits, you're gonna give hits, people are gonna get hurt. It's like all hell breaks loose in the playoff. It's the hardest. They say it's the hardest trophy to win, and that's the reason. You know what I mean? So I think those, and especially the loss with the Blues, same thing. We just got beat up and down the ice. Couldn't stay out of the box and everything. And yeah, I think like those two losses there are definitely gonna help us go into the playoffs more hungry and more prepared, in my opinion.
I want to start out by saying I predicted the Winter Classic game.
Oh yeah,
I said
Bees,
Pens.
Pens.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
said Bees,
Let's
Pens.
go.
That's a good matchup.
Yeah, so I'll take my victory lap. So yeah, no, Bruins proved me wrong on Friday. Lightning didn't look too hot. They're missing that third line that really made them a complete team. Washington kind of was like a setup loss, I feel like, on that Sunday. They showed up. Washington was rocking. They were ready for the Bees, and the Bees just got outplayed. Last night was an unexcusable one, I think. That's a real playoff team. I understand that they are down Pasta and Lindholm, but Bruce Cassidy, I understand why he was so mad after the game, is because the depth just doesn't show when those guys are out of the lineup.
And we couldn't stay out of the box either.
Yeah, and you make dumb penalties.
Yeah.
Like, I like Trent Frederick. I think he's a really like good player, like tough. But you're going after Tarasenko, and that dude's just not gonna like feeding you bullshit. He's a sniper. He's out there to score goals, and then you did that, got put in the box, and then he snipes on you, and then he's gonna be like, all right, and does it again.
Yep.
It's just it was tough to watch last night, and the Blues played the game last night like they were kicking your ass in the Stanley Cup a couple years ago. They were locking down. You didn't get a shot in the third period. They were just chipping pucks out, flopping them out into the neutral zone. You try to break in, they're forechecking the hell out of you. They won't let you go. They're like glued to you. And yeah, I understand. Bruce Cassidy was pissed after. He's like, Charlie Coyle brings a puck up into the high slot, gets robbed of the puck. They go in. Tarasenko gets on 1T, scores, and Bruce Cassidy was like, "Can't be refused." Charlie Coyle refused to shoot the puck, like called him out and after the game. And I understand, man. Like, brings back PTSD. You know, the Blues.
Yeah, that was tough to see. The Blues beat us in the Cup a few years ago. It was our time for revenge, and then they get the best of us again. Last pod, I said, it wasn't time to panic after that Red Wings loss, but honestly, boys, I'm starting to panic a little bit here. The team's banged up big time right now, and I feel like this happens to us almost every single year before the playoffs. We play unbelievable beginning, middle of the year, and then towards the end of the year like this, we hit this like bump in the road where all these guys start getting injured. We're facing these like tough teams like Washington, St. Louis. Those teams have big boys who will shove you around and hit you and get under your skin. And I just feel like we can't compete with those tough teams. We don't have enough tough guys to protect some of our guys. And now we have Lindholm's out, Pasternak's out, and I guess Bruce Cassidy said today they were looking day to day. Now it's week to week. I didn't like that. Carlo's out, and Bergeron wasn't practicing today either. These were the practice lines in today's practice, and it's going to make you throw up. First line was Marchand, Studnicka, and DeBrusk. Second line, Hall, Haula, and Froden. Third line, Nosek, Coyle, and Smith. And then fourth line, you had Foligno, McLaughlin, and Lazar. Your D pairs were Riley/Grizzlick playing with McAvoy, and then Forbort and Clifton together, and Akan and Brown. Yeah, that's not a lineup that's gonna win you any playoff
Dude, that's
series.
literally that's Providence Bruins. That's the Providence Bruins, bro.
I guess Cassie was pissed at practice day too.
Yeah.
I heard he was freaking
Yeah,
out.
I guess like they were running drills. I don't know if he's backseating them or something. He was like, we can do this all day or something. Like, oh man, dude. And I think it's because because Don Sweeney doesn't have a contract yet for next year, and Bruce Cassie's kind of like, what am I doing next year? I think they're panicking because I think Don Sweeney, if they don't make a run, it's sayonara. And then once the GM's gone, who knows what happens to the head coach?
He ain't safe. Even though as much as we love Bruce, I'd love to see him
he's
stick
a hell
around.
of a
But
coach.
he's definitely not safe. I'd like to sit here and act like it's all rainbows and butterflies and be like, oh, it's going to be all good. But yeah, boys, I'm starting to panic a little bit. We're starting to have a question mark in net right now. Swayman just hasn't been playing well. And it's typical for a rookie like that. You're going to have those streaks, those hot and cold streaks. So hopefully you can heat up again before playoffs. Luckily, we have Allmark heating up big time. Everyone questioning, oh, why did we sign this guy to that contract? Well, this is why, because he's been sturdy for us. And especially a time heading into the playoffs, you got to have a goaltender who you can trust and who you can look to. For the moment, it's Allmark's net until further notice.
Yeah,
100%.
I'm still with that.
Give Sway some starts, 100%. I'm not saying don't play him at all. You definitely kind of want to do what you've been doing, switching off between Allmark and Sway. But if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, Allmark's your game one starter, no doubt about it.
Yeah, both these goaltenders have a really short leash because both of them can just play on their heads and play unbelievable. So Bruce is probably looking at it being like, hey, I mean, if Allmark has plays one good game in the playoffs, but gets lit up one game, he'll throw Swayman in there because he knows Swayman can probably show up and play a good game. So, or vice versa. So, I guess that's one good way to look at it. But those lines, it was kind of concerning. But the thing is, they probably just resting everyone for the playoffs, so you can't really panic that much. We're not rolling into the first round game one with that lineup.
Yeah.
So it's probably Bergeron just doing he might not even be hurt. Maybe there's rest up, bud.
Day,
just rest up.
I mean,
dude.
if I know Berger, he's playing. What he played in was it last year's playoffs or year before?
With
He
a
played
collapsed
a couple
lung.
broken ribs. Collapsed lung. He's in there. Lindholm and Pasta, I'm worried about from going day to day, week to week.
I heard.
I mean, I don't care if they don't play the rest of the regular season, but come playoff time, those are two guys you absolutely need in the lineup, or we probably won't get out of the first round.
Yeah, I think Lindholm's not even that bad of an injury. I think they're just kind of trying to nurse him back to the point where he'll be 100% in the games we actually need him to play in. You know what I mean?
I think Pasta might be worse than Lindholm. I think the way he got injured, what he sliding the boards and he hurt his shoulder. Upper body's probably more concerning, I think. Lindholm, I heard he's walking around just fine. I think they just signed him and they really need him for the playoffs more than Pasta might be more hurt. But that power play is hurt.
Oh my God, that was tough to watch.
I am when I see Pasta, he is how much we miss him is crazy.
Time.
I never thought we would have missed him that much, but he is the third best guy on the. I guess you could say top three guys on the team. And it's crazy. It's kind of night and day how the Bruins look.
Yeah, the power play, especially against the Capitals, dude. Jesus, man. That was so tough. They would just get the puck.
0 for 4, 0 for 5?
Dude, we only got 2 shots or something. Dude, it was so bad. They would get the puck in the neutral zone and would just dump and chase and just lose the puck immediately. It was no one's really going hard on pucks. No one was trying to win the puck back, go in the half boards, try to win lost every battle. And the Capitals just throw it down the ice every single time, bro. It was probably combined out of the 0 for 4, we probably had 2 minutes of it actually in the zone. It was insane.
Yeah, that was definitely concerning. I mean, I'm going to believe in Bruce. Like Jay Butt said, I heard he was all over the boys at practice today, reaming them out, high-intensity practice. I think that's what the boys need. But, yeah, I'm beginning to worry just a little bit right now. Not full panic mode, but, it's getting there. I'm sweating. I'm sweating big time.
Everyone that's listen to us right now, everyone take a deep breath in your car or wherever you're listening to, whatever. In Bruce, we trust.
Yeah, believe in Bruce.
Believe in Bruce. He knows how to get to the guys. He knows like what to do, like to make, like I say, the cocktail. He likes to make cocktails out of his team, and he's gonna make the offensive
mixologist.
He's a mixologist, man. You see him at the greatest bar sometimes. Kid gets his training in.
Yeah, the fourth
Jay
floor.
Butts was his bar back.
Yeah.
Word on the street.
Yeah, you just making me go up and down the stairs all day.
Yeah, he's putting some hair in your chest, Butts.
But yeah, all right. We'd like to see the Bees turn around before playoff time. We got a couple weeks, but time's ticking for the Bees. All right. I think this would be a good time right now to turn over today's guest, North Quincy's own head hockey coach, Matt Gibbons. Today's guest of the podcast has been the coach of the North Quincy High School hockey team since 2010 and is now also co-coach of the newly founded Quincy College club hockey team. He is our former coach, and some call him the Herb Brooks of high school hockey. Please welcome to the show, Coach Matt Gibbons. How's it going, Coach?
What an intro. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Always got to pump your tires, Anything we can do. Thanks for coming on, Coach. We appreciate it. It's been a long time coming. Should have been our first guest, honestly, but
yeah, when I saw you guys had this and you didn't have me on yet, I was kind of pissed off. So
we thought you were gonna say no.
You're here now, though.
I didn't realize you were getting top-notch guests. So once I saw the crew, I was like, oh, maybe I'm never gonna make it on.
Well,
Too big time.
You made the cut today, so it's better late than never, right? So, Coach, how did you get into coaching, and when did your coaching career first start?
Good question. So after college, my little brother, some of you guys know him, Dan, he's 12 years younger than me. So when I was out of school, he was like playing peewees or bantams or something. And one of the dads that was coaching, I asked if I could help. I could kind of just help with their team. And then the next year I kind of took one of his teams over and I just kind of kept rolling with it a little bit. I had a sales job out of college, and then I found myself looking forward to get to the rink to like a Bantam A practice on like a Thursday night at 8:00. That would like get me through my terrible sales job I had. And then I just kind of followed Dan a little bit. We did U16 together, and my uncle came to me. He was like, hey, you should apply to be a teacher. It'd be good. Maybe you could coach and do that thing. And I was like, I didn't go to school to be a teacher. That's crazy. And long story short, I go through that process and ended up getting a job at North. And my second year, my first year, I jumped on as an assistant. I met the head coach at a teacher orientation, and then he stepped down after his first year, and I kind of fell into it. So it started at Quincy Youth. I mean, I started playing at Quincy Youth, and then to be coaching down there, and then it just kind of came full circle with the North Quincy gig.
That's awesome. So did you ever like picture yourself as a coach, like growing up playing hockey? You ever like had interest getting into coaching, or just kind of just fell into your lap?
No, I just loved hockey, and I wasn't good enough to keep playing. And I just thought it was just kind of over, and I just kind of jumped into it when Dan was playing, and I just fell in love with it. And then realized that maybe this was a cool thing I could do. I wasn't the best hockey player in the world, but now I'm trying to be a better coach, I guess, and just kind of going through that whole process. And when I first got the job at North, I was over my head. I thought I had to like scream and yell at referees, and I had to like lose my mind in the locker room after every single period. And you just kind of mature over the time of being there, and it's just, I love it. I just love it. I love being around the guys. I love being in the locker room with them. I love just seeing them grow and kind of go through that learning process and seeing them as a freshman to a senior, and the accolades that they get and the games that they get to play in. It's just fun to kind of be a witness to all of that.
Yeah, we fell victim to a couple of your snap shows in high school for sure, but it made us better players. You pushed us to be better players, and we were part of a lot of good teams together, so that was good.
It was a fun ride with you guys for sure. It was, some of those games are, for us at least, maybe other people listening to it that play a higher level of hockey, but iconic moments, I guess, for North Quincy High. And for the last 12 years, the runs that you guys have gone on, you guys kind of really started it a little bit. And when you started, it kind of the waterfall happened, and other teams went through it, and other guys went through it, and now it's funny because there's guys on the team this year, and I have pictures in my room, and I have just moments that happened, and guys always ask questions about the guys that played before, and you guys are like mini celebrities to them a little bit, and showing videos of Robbie's goal against Bishop Feehan.
Oh yeah.
And the overtime winner, the next game. It's just like, it's so cool, and they're watching that, and they want to do that, and it's kind of cool that you guys left kind of a legacy on the place that it has continued. So should be proud of that. You guys were hell of I mean, Robbie, I think the greatest freshman year ever, and then kind of fell off.
Yeah,
it happens.
I mean, school kind of got in the way.
School got in the way of that one,
Yeah.
but
I ain't come here to play school.
yeah, he didn't realize you got to go to class to play.
Now I got to. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, look at you now, you know?
yeah.
But Vinny's like the grizzly old vet over there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was like the true.
Yeah, over here with the cane walking.
Yeah. He saw me at my worst, I think. I was very, very raw.
Oh, I have PTSD from those days.
I apologize. I want to actually apologize. I'll just do it right now.
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry.
Oh no worries. Over it now. Just got over it a couple months ago. Actually,
good.
Yeah, this is good. It's very therapeutic. Right
Yes.
a lot of questions answered.
We know it's no hard feelings, and you were just pushing us to be the best players. Was a little salty my freshman year, not making varsity with my buddy Robbie here, but I learned from that moment and just kind of decided to get better, and I think it all worked out for the best. So that's just really what it's about.
I think those are the moments, and it's being in a tough position, and you obviously. What I learned is you don't want to please everybody, right? Yeah. And then if you don't make varsity as a freshman, you're pissed off about it, then good. That's a good thing.
Right. Feeling the fire.
And if you are pissed off about it and you quit, then good. Then you shouldn't be there anyway. And I think those are the moments that you hope you can build off of, and the kids can learn from it, and you can look back, or I can look back at the mistakes or the moments that kind of made us a little bit better. And if I knew, Robbie was going to fail off freshman year, I definitely would have taken Coco, and it would have been easier. But
you didn't do your homework well enough. I didn't do my homework well enough.
That's what you hope for the guys, is they learn from those and they build off that, and they think, hey, I should be there, and it's kind of like, prove me wrong, and I want to be proved wrong all the time. So if you think you should be there, then I'd love for you to tell me I was wrong, and maybe I was wrong, or maybe I was right, and then you put it in the extra work, and then you proved yourself right.
Yeah, I think it's a great message to young kids out there. Like, if you're a freshman, you think you're good enough to make varsity, you don't make it. Don't get discouraged. That really should just kind of light the fire and just want you to get better. Like, I could have been on varsity, probably been fourth line, got a shift or two a game, probably wouldn't improve much. Probably would have got content with just being the player I was, but end up being on the winningest JV team of all time with Coach Schatzel. So,
Shooter.
Coach Schatzel. Well, this is our 13th. I think that was my 13th year last year. So there was 12 years together with Coach Schatzel, and we've been a fun duo throughout the whole process. It's been a lot of fun coaching him. But to your point, it's so right, and I look at it even with my kid. My daughter's going to be a freshman next year at Braintree High, and it's like, all right, great. Does she make varsity, or does she play JV and play a ton of games and get more reps in and get better? Or do you just kind of sit there? And that's how I look at it and kids won't, I could say that. I could have said that to your 14-year-old self, and you would have told me to go shit in a hat or something. But that's how you look at, like, how is he going to get better? He practices with us. Yeah, that helps. But is he never playing in a game for the next 3 months? Is that going to make him a better player? And you kind of go through those evaluations and see what's going to work out for each guy. And at the moment, I'm sure nobody thinks we're thinking through that or going through that process, but that's the idea of it, is just to make you guys the best you possibly can make yourselves, and kind of go through that.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. And as a young aspiring coach, I kind of take a lot of things that I saw you do back in the day and kind of molded that into my coaching style now.
I got a coaching tree.
Yeah, exactly.
We got a coaching tree. I started a coaching tree.
100%.
Yeah, I started my coaching career with the Block Blazers this year. So
he's with Dougie now.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe he'll watch this. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah. So I know we kind of just touched on it a little, and we know this answer as former players of yours, but can you tell the fans a little bit about your coaching style? What's your philosophy when it comes to coaching? How has that changed from like early on in your coaching career until now?
like I said, I thought I was too emotional early on. I thought it was like I was young, I was jacked up, and it was like I wanted to play, And I think I had to like settle myself down a little bit. I don't think my style overall has changed. It's just maybe my attitude and my emotion has settled. I mean, I'm a passionate guy, and my goal is just get everything out of that player as much as I can. Whatever he has deep down, I'm going to try to find it. And whether that means I can scream and yell at you in your face, or I got to sit down next to you and tell you, this is better or that's good or whatever's going on, and can I help you? It's just kind of figuring out how different guys click. I can't talk to Robbie the same way I can talk to Vinny or Coco. It's talking to guys individually and different and trying to see what ticks for those guys. I mean, I remember Nick McGahee.
Oh yeah.
Worm would come to me like in between a period as we're going into the locker rooms, like, you gotta scream at me. And I'm like, he's like, just scream at me, please, just scream at me. And then so I just kind of go off and just start yelling at him. And he's one of our best players. He goes out there and scores goals, but then the team knows, hey, coach is yelling at the best player, maybe one of the best players in the room, and he's going out and responding. So it's kind of like, and then I scream at somebody else, and they're just going to sit on their hands and not do it.
They go into their own shell. Yeah.
Right. So you just kind of pick and choose what you can do with guys. And at the end of the day, you're just trying to get the best out of them and have the best possible experience you can have. I mean, it's 4 years of high school hockey. You can't replicate it. It's awesome. And I'm not here to ruin it. I'm not here to step in anybody's way. I'm just trying to guide and hopefully help guys do whatever they're going to do after. And whether that's continue to play hockey or go to college or go to work, whatever it is, I just kind of be that fun piece for 4 years and give the best possible experience we can give. But it's also the guys building a culture. So you want to talk about culture, but you guys like set a foundation, and it becomes so much easier for me because I don't have to worry about that stuff. You set that groundwork, and then it's like, all right, let me just make sure this guy's going to class. Let me make sure where he knows what time he needs to be on the bus or whatever. But a bus driver said something to me this year. He's like, man, that bus is so quiet. And I was like, I haven't had to say a word about a bus in 10 years. You guys set the tone early on. You talk if you win after a game. You sit there and
radio silence.
Yeah, radio silence if you lose. And
nothing better than those buff chick sandwiches when you go off the.
Those have continued. That's that's a culture you want to good food on the bus on the ride home, and other teams are very jealous of that. They don't get the food and the parent involvement. I guess is the hockey parents do. So
yeah, but just from the experience from playing, like, you always created that like atmosphere that we were a family, and like you wanted to create that bond between us. And whether we won 20 games or 0 games, what you really felt like you set us up for was like life after hockey and life after school, and giving us those skills necessary like to be good citizens in society, and just being a good person, and just learning those types of traits. Like it's bigger than hockey at that point.
I appreciate you saying that, guys. That's and that is the ultimate goal. It's I think the greatest part of this coaching thing for me that I didn't realize early on is this moment right now. Like, we're sitting here 6-7 years post high school, and we're just talking shop, and the different guys that reach out, and our tournament game this year, it was in New Bedford, and the basketball team had the girls and boys had unbelievable seasons this year, and they had back-to-back home game in the gym, and we were in New Bedford, so no fan bus, no nothing. Yeah. And there's a crew of like 15 alumni that drove down to New Bedford to watch the game. And it was like just kind of a cool moment to see those guys just still be part of the program and stuff. And I think that's the best thing that's happened throughout this whole process is you guys coming back. That the Christmas Eve skate. Guys, I mean, it was like the day before, just the thought, hey, can you come back and skate on Christmas Eve with the guys? And there was like 20-something guys that showed up. Imagine next year if I put a little effort into it and give a week's notice, how many guys would show. And that's been the coolest thing for me. All the wins, all the losses, all the moments. The fact that guys want to kind of come back and still be part of the program is really, really special to me. Yeah,
there was always just tons of support for the hockey team. When we were in school, and even continues now. I mean, I don't know if I get in trouble for saying this, but I coach a different school now, and we were 19-1 this year, but those fans didn't travel like North Quincy fans did back in the day, and we were like a 12 seed or something, and that place is fully packed. Like no matter what game it was a Wednesday night, Friday night game, like state tournament game, place was always packed. You always had your your school behind you, and it was really special to see. Not every school is lucky like that.
But I think that's the culture that the team brings too, because I don't think they travel for every team like that either. That's you guys being in the building and being. I mean, you could most schools you can walk in and pick out a couple hockey guys, right? It's the same, but you guys built that, and then it just trickles down to everybody else. And it's whether we won 5 games or whether we won 15, everybody was coming out to watch. They wanted to watch. It was exciting because you guys are so passionate about it and you gave everything you had. There's other guys like, oh, they're not going to practice day. I couldn't understand that. Like, oh yeah, I'm just not going to basketball practice day. I'm not going to lacrosse practice today. It's like, what do you mean you're not going to practice today? You guys would never think of not going to practice or missing something. You know, it's your dedication you have, and hockey's just a different sport. So
yeah, it's literally what I looked forward to the second I stepped in school today. I'm like, all right, when's it gonna be 2 o'clock so we can get to hockey practice? Like,
exactly.
Sitting in math class, like, all right, is a hockey
an
practice?
hour before sitting upstairs watching Quincy High practice, and then to go downstairs to get ready for your practice.
Yeah, tape our sticks and everything, get ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing beat that at all.
Absolutely. We were just rink rats, you know. That's all we wanted to do, is just be at the rink with the boys. So, Coach, you've been very successful as a high school coach, especially when it comes to the state tournament. You made some deep runs in both the D2 and D3 tournaments. So what do you think's been the key factor that's led to your success as a coach, especially in those types of games?
I think, and you guys will attest to this, you know, the big Quincy North game, right? So that's always built up. And it's a cool moment for everybody involved. It's my least favorite game of the year, meaning that there's just so much emphasis on one game that's so early on in the season. And I think what I would always try to do is, and I think it was great for us to have that, it was to try to stay kind of level. Like, all right, we can't play crazy in this game and expect to kind of keep that up, you know? You always just want to be playing your best hockey at the end. And that was always my goal. Whether we played Quincy High early on or late, that could not be your best game, where I think sometimes people wanted it to be their best game that they played all year just to be able to beat the other side. Yeah. And that was kind of my fight with all you guys, meaning just all those guys, is you definitely want to win that game. I understand with the pride thing, but I think if you were to say that you were 0-4 against Quincy High, you wouldn't even think about it right now, because you had 3 or 4 tournament wins in 4 years. And those are the moments that you don't forget. And like the video of Robbie scoring in Bishop, there's not many videos of a Quincy High goal scored, right? Because it's not the playoffs. If it was the playoffs, it would be insane. Yeah. But like, you can't just put so much emphasis on a game so early in the season. And our thought process, me, Coach Schatzel, you know, my brother Dan's been part of it, my brother Mark's been part of it, Coach Sullivan part of it. And it was always just like, let's just keep building here. And it's process, right? You can't, even if you lose a game, it's like, well, we're going in the right direction. If we keep going in that direction, we're going to play our best hockey at the end. And that's when we did empty the tank. That's when we did go full tilt there towards the end. And we knew how important the game was. And you know, you walked into hockey that week and it was just different. Practice was different. The way we run it was different. The games were different. And at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that elevated your game to play in those big moments and win some pretty cool games in those tournaments. There's nothing better than winning one of those tournament games. It seems like every one that North has won has been in an overtime or a shootout or
so it's always
something
like down
crazy.
to the wire
every
single time.
Always a sweat.
Pretty cool moments that you would never want to give up, you know, and that's the idea. Just build to play your best at the end. And at that point, you know, you never know what's going to happen. The best teams are playing, so I mean, there's years you look back and it's like, man, if you won that game, where would you have been? You know, you play that game, but those games were always the best.
But yeah, those Quincy North games definitely helped. Like, because I remember my first Quincy game, like I felt like Bambi when I stepped on the ice. Like my legs are shaking. I was like shitting a brick. I'm like, you know, just because of the anticipation of the game. And then you play a game like that, and then you head into the state tournament. You're like, oh, this is nothing.
Exactly.
Like, you know, let's just play our game.
And I'm not down playing the Quincy North game, because those moments are why you get to the end of it. And yes, like you're saying, no high school plays in front of that crowd in December or January. And then they're playing in front of that crowd in March for the first time, while you already did it twice. You've done it twice already. And that's why the best referees usually get that game. They love that game. They want to be part of that atmosphere. And then when you step on the ice in March against whoever you're playing, they're jello legs and you don't. Because you're like,
we're ready to go.
You don't even have that many fans over there. We got all the fans. Quincy High brings more fans. So that's kind of like what I talk about with the process. You know, you already went through it. You lived it. And it's fun to play in those games. It really is.
Nothing beats those games for sure. So, Coach, what happened when you guys faced off against the Norwell hockey team this year? I'm just
I
kidding.
think I think the better coach won there. I mean, I think my coaching tree. I felt positive with my coaching tree. You know, we got our asses kicked. The worst game of the year. That was one we referenced for the rest of the season. That was our low point. We were awful that game. They completely outworked us. But Coco just knew all the secrets.
I just gave him the ins and outs. Gave him the
He
whole
knew exactly.
forecheck.
Overload on the power play.
Well, he broke it down for him. Couldn't have made it much easier. But no, that was a surreal moment, kind of full circle, being on the bench, just looking over and just giving you a head nod and a big smile.
Cool. And that's where I think I've grown, is that, like, before I'd psych myself out. It was like I was playing. I'd like so ready for a game, where it's like I just really enjoy it now. And like seeing you on the other side, I don't know, it was pretty cool. Like, even when you're scoring, I'm still like trying to look over, like, fuck, man, Jesus Christ, enough, will you?
Yeah.
But no, that was
I'm
that
trying
was
to
pretty
hide
cool.
a smile after the second goal.
Yeah, he was trying to play it. Oh, nice job, coach. Like, you want to say,
I told him to
your
stop.
ass.
I'm like, can we just dump and chase? keep it reasonable. But no, I definitely hear you on that. Like, me, like, I get the same way. I get so pumped up, like I'm ready to play, and then I end up like motherfucking the refs, and like just like waiting to my coach. Gotta be like, yeah, calm down. I'm like, I'm just into it, but it's like, yeah, you gotta kind of level yourself. You gotta find a medium. Like,
and you gotta realize, like, what I've realized, I need to be best friends with these refs, not motherfucker.
Yeah,
you know, it's like. And then now you can have conversations with them. You've been there long enough where you know most of them.
Seeing the same guys,
and you're like, what was I doing? Did I think that was a good idea to scream obscenities at this guy up and down the ice for missing an offside call? So that's like the growth process you go through, you know?
Yeah. Well, I know we talked about a lot of memories, but is there a best memory you have so far as coach of the North Quincy hockey team, one that stands out the most?
That's a tough question. I'll go with the most recent one. I mean, all right, I'll go back a little bit. One of it is Tim Marks's overtime game tying goal with 42 seconds left against Canton. And I know that because I have a picture in my room, and it's Tim scooping the ice, and the 42 is up on the clock. And that was a team that just a really fun group. You know, Tommy O'Brien. So we played Canton 2 weeks before, the backstory, at Canton. And I think Tommy O'Brien had 15 hits in that game. And it's like one of the greatest schedule moves. I'd like to take credit for it, but it just happened. You're not going to know you're going to play somebody, but you play them at the end of the year, and you lose by 1, but you beat them up. And they came in a little bit, I would say, doubting themselves a little bit.
Different attitude.
And then Timmy scores that goal, and then Wig makes the save in the shootout. And it was just surreal. Like the crowd that was there, they were like banging down the boards.
Yeah, I thought they were ripped down the glass. It was nuts.
And then Timmy's in the locker room crying, and his grandfather had passed away the night before, and nobody knew. And it's like, Jesus Christ, this kid just played with that, scored that goal.
Hard on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Went out there and played a hell of a game.
That's one of those moments that I'll just never forget. And then this year, I'll give a shout out to those guys. I mean, the MIAA changed the whole rules, and we were beneficiary of that, of getting into the tournament with only 4 wins. And because of the schedule that we played, that's a whole other podcast. But we get in, and we're the 25 seed playing the 9 seed, a team that's won 17 games. And again, we were ready. We were prepared. We thought we could win this game. And this kid, Johnny Lynch, he's a senior. Just one of those kids, that the little guy when he was a freshman, and then he's grown into a captain this year, and loved hearing about the stories of you guys and all that. And kid scores 4 goals. And scores his 4th goal was an overtime 3-on-3, and it was just a surreal moment. I guess now looking back, as it's happening, I'm thinking, holy shit, this kid's never going to forget this moment.
No, never.
Yeah.
And you go out there and score 4 goals in a tournament game, and you score he scores the game tying goal, and then he scores the OT winner, and it's like, it's just a special moment.
And then they named him the mayor of North Quincy after that game.
yeah, I think that was Zappy. That might have been Zappy.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the Canton game, I can still see like Tim Marks' shot going top left corner from the bench, and just being like, holy shit, how the hell did that get through? And to find top twine like that.
Head down and everything.
I think during the shootout, when Wig made that last save, I was like hiding behind Fury. Yeah. And I was like, I just don't want to watch this. I don't know if I want to watch this. But those teams, there was like a 4 or 5 year stretch there that you guys just gutted games. You were so tough to play against. It was really fun to watch from the bench, to just see no one would ever call us the most skilled team in the league,
never.
but we were one of the toughest ones, and we just never stopped. And it was really, really fun to be a part of that and watch you guys
all
do
grit.
that. Grit. We were grit. We were gritty.
Yeah, we just knew how to play hockey, and like the systems you put together, we just went out there and just bang bodies and put pucks in that. That's all it really was.
That's get pucks deep, right? Just get pucks deep.
Cycle the puck, get pucks deep.
And it also helped that we had
High slot.
We had two really good goaltenders too. Like
let's talk about we talk about having success in the tournament. It's because of Nolan Green and James Dunn there for that stretch of
back-to-back all scholastic goalies. Like
I have another picture of those two hugging each other after that game, and it's just to think that Nolan is sitting behind Wig, and you just wait. Nolan only. You talk about not playing your freshman year, right? You had Nolan, who might be. Nolan and Wig, put in a hat. Who was the best goalie that I've had at North Quincy? And you think that Nolan only played 2 years?
Yeah, seriously.
And it's crazy. It's just crazy to think that, but.
Yeah, any other year, he probably would have been a 4-year starter.
He was been a 4-year starter, but you had Wig. It was just pretty impressive. And watch those guys compete every day in practice and cheer for each other was a pretty cool moment. And for the young guys to kind of see that too. You could easily for goalies to like hate each other for not wanting to play, but those guys seem like the best of friends during those years.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of like Allmark Swayman right now. It's like those
exactly.
guys are like best buds. It's like Swayman's not playing well. Allmark steps in, he's doing well, and they're still hugging after the game.
The whole thing. It's just that's a team. That's when you know your team's clicking and they're all going in the right direction.
Yep.
So I keep having people ask me this, if this Quincy club hockey team is legit. Like seriously, people are like, oh, I thought that was a joke. And I have to keep telling them like, no, this team is serious. So we're going to confirm right now on the pod that this team is for real and that this upcoming season is going to be the historical first ever U of Q club hockey season. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the team and how you got involved with it?
So this was years ago. They brought up having a club hockey team at Quincy, and I kind of the guy at the time that was there, I kind of was like, hey, if this ever came up, like keep me in mind. And a couple of years ago, they hired somebody to do the recruiting, then COVID hit and whatnot. So it kind of died. And I saw the guy again and I brought it up, and Kyle Robinson, who's going to be, we're going to be coaching together. He coaches junior hockey. He's been coaching junior hockey forever. You guys probably remember him down at the rink doing camps with Doug and doing skills and whatnot. He's an unbelievable coach, an unbelievable recruiter. And so we saw the guy out, and me and Kyle were together like, hey, we're interested. We'd love to get this thing going. He's like, well, yeah, follow up with me next week. We'll see what happens. And we followed up and we had a meeting and we said, hey, we think we can put something together. And me and Kyle just kind of hit the ground running with it. And then you guys made it real with the official signing with Robbie, which has gone through Quincy College. The AD was like, hey, I saw that video of Robbie Cameron. And that's pretty cool. I wanted to show it, but then he flipped over the Bud Light sign.
I was going to say, did you notice he signed his commitment on a back of a Bud Light box?
So it's kind of, it's good for the college. I mean, what they're trying to do with the athletics is just trying to bring in a different type of kid. So, they can bring kids into Quincy College on the athlete side now instead of just the academic side. And that's going to add more people to the fray for them, which they're looking for. They're looking for more enrollment, obviously. So our goal is to get 20, 25 guys. We're going to play out of Quincy Youth. The league that we play in. So Anna Maria's in it. Babson's in it. So Babson, Mass Maritime's in it. They just Babson and Mass Maritime got bids to the national tournament this year. I think there's 6 different divisions throughout the country. I think it's 150 teams or 125 teams, and Babson won the thing. Babson won the whole thing.
Oh wow!
So it's pretty cool. I mean, you have like South Carolina in it. You have Liberty. There's some huge schools that are involved in it that are in different leagues that we obviously wouldn't play during the regular season, but. It's legit hockey. It's real hockey. I mean, we went. Kyle went and watched Babson and Anna Maria play, and Anna Maria was like using it as their Division III like minor league team. Yeah. It was guys that because of COVID they couldn't make the team because they were stacked with seniors. They were just kind of sitting at club waiting to jump up next year. Babson, I mean, their roster was full of prep school kids. It's like. It's going to be some real competitive hockey. You get to play Quincy Youth. We'll play on the weekends. We'll start right away, right in September, start practicing. And it's just like a college schedule. We'll go probably to December and then have December break and then come back. I'm staying with North Quincy. I'm still coaching at North, but this is something I thought I could help Kyle with, and we could kind of do it together and figure out the schedule as it goes. But we're really excited about it. And Robbie reached out first. He is we call him today like our John Adams of the of Quincy College, our founding father. And we got a couple other guys that signed today. Mike Izzo, he's a former NQ guy. We had Aiden Burke, who's a BC High guy, but a Dorchester guy who's skated in Quincy with a lot of these guys. He went the prep school route, and he actually then played played juniors last year, and he's wants to go to school, and seems like a perfect fit for him. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. Anthony Vieira played North Quincy hockey. It's just kind of cool to see some of these NQ guys be interested in about it. And there's a couple other guys that we've been talking to and trying to just the sell is Quincy College, right? They don't think it's real. They don't think like you said. And then it's like, wait, Quincy College, you're gonna go play at Quincy College, but then you have to, it's a school that you can transfer your credits. We're not looking for 4-year commitments by these people. It's just a good start for them to keep going. And if they want to stay, they can stay. The college is building and it's growing, and they're just hockey's just going to be kind of a part of that. For hopefully they're going to look at it as, besides Robbie, who was taking classes and started, they're going to have 25 new tuitions. Yeah. That's what they're looking at. So we're hoping to help that and coach some good hockey and play some good hockey. And these guys that are coming in probably weren't going to play college hockey or weren't going to continue playing
like a second chance. Yeah.
Get a chance to play and kind of get that
last chance you.
Yeah. We'll do a little documentary. We'll follow around Quincy College.
Yeah, we got a video guy.
Yeah.
Make a little documentary out of the first ever historic season.
Yeah, Quincy College, I was talking to the VA advisor, Josie Smith, today, and she said that they just signed off and approved the 4-year and business management degree, so you can go there for 4 years if you really want to.
Yeah.
So.
And money-wise, I'm in the high school. I teach there, and to listen to $80,000 a year to go to college.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. It's just crazy. And again, it's for whatever reason, Quincy College had like the bad, not a bad name, but it's like Quincy College. I'm not going to Quincy College. I'm going to go here,
right?
Yeah,
because it's in your city. You go to
you want to get away
Quincy
from
or North.
home,
It's like what? I'm not going to go to Quincy College. I want to go somewhere else. But when you really look at it, even if you go for 2 years, you're going to save so much money where you're going to get the same credit and the same education. And then if you want to move on, you want to move on. But now, like you're saying, you could stay even if you wanted to stay, and you'll be out. Nobody asked me where I went to college when you fill it out on an application or a resume. That's it.
As long as you have the degree.
As long as you have the degree. So it's a much better option money wise, especially the time that we're in. It just seems like it makes sense. And now this is for us to kind of get those hockey guys involved.
Yeah, it's only $6,000 per semester or something like that.
Let's say like under 10 grand. Yeah, semester. That's as affordable as you can get. I mean, that's like half the reason I went to a state school. I looked at a bunch of other schools. I'm like, oh, these places are awesome. These are nice. But when it came to money, I'm like, how much debt do you want to be in when it's all said and done? So
I went to Nichols private, and I'll tell you, I loved it. And no matter what, most experience you have, you love it, right? But like going back, it's like, all right, if I can forget about the memories, I wish I didn't have all this money to pay back. I'm if I went somewhere else that was cheaper, I would have those same experiences and that whole process. But it's a good option. And bringing Robbie out, from men's league into it is, he's the grizzly old veteran now.
Yeah. I mean, when I found out I can play competitive hockey, and I jumped right on that. So. Yeah.
And we always talked about that, right? We were like, hey, this is probably the last time you play competitive hockey when you play North Quincy. Yeah. We're playing those big games, and some people moving on, but if you're not, this is kind of like that second chance for a lot of guys to just, anyone could go down the street and play men's league. But when you can actually hit somebody again, when the goal means something, when you're looking at your standings, when who knows, maybe you're on a bus or a plane going to wherever the Nationals are next year, so. Our goal is to compete in the league right away. We saw what the league looks like, and that's our goal. We are not just putting 25 guys just to put 25 guys. We want to win hockey games, and we think we can do it. So
yeah, I mean, knowing Quincy, knowing the area and how big hockey is around here, I'm pretty confident that this team's gonna grow pretty quickly. The basketball team at Quincy College, they're already like one of the best teams around. I mean, that team's only a few years old too. So
basketball, and they have baseball too. Jidge coaches track over there.
Oh yeah.
Jidge Fury.
You get the guys in the strength shed.
Yeah. And then they're talking about adding soccer too. So it makes sense for the college. The more sports you can add, that's just the more tuitions you're going to add into it. So, and that's what they're looking for. Yeah, the student athlete. Yeah, the basketball team is unbelievable. And the baseball team, I guess that guy's done a great job recruiting guys, and they had a good fall, so they play fall and spring. So some good stuff happening over there. They're excited. Yeah, we're excited.
Big things for the U of Q Granite next year. That's for sure. We'll be following along closely, giving you guys updates on the team and how they're doing.
Professors or puck, you're just going to give us some money lines for some of those puck lines. We'll see.
I don't know if you want, honestly. It's bad.
Put some money on me to score a couple goals.
Yeah, you might have to fade us.
So I heard there was a big announcement today involving the program, naming their first ever captain. Can you confirm this for us, or is that confidential information?
I mean, I hate doing. I feel like I should have Kyle here if we're going to officially announce it, but I can't officially announce it. But let's just say one of those guys is sitting in the room. You know, that's
one of us that still plays.
Yeah, as long as the one that might be wearing the shirt, who knows? But there could be a C on that jersey.
Thanks, Gil.
He knows how to wear it. He knows how to wear it. Vinny, you should come out too. Why not?
No, I could still play. Like I said, I'm gonna body him in men's league over the summer. Get him ready.
Yeah.
But if I magically come up with all that money, yeah, maybe.
Then he just doesn't want to hit the books again.
I'll take the easy ones.
Yeah, there's a couple gimmies, I bet. We can have the high slot jerseys as the team's home jerseys.
Those look nice.
Yeah,
those look real nice.
So Quincy down the side.
Well, you're getting yourself one now because you came on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, do I get one?
Yeah, every guest.
Yeah, all the guests, yeah.
Perfect.
What number do you want?
Give it 216 on the back.
216.
That email's still going. Very not
Represent.
professional, but it hasn't got hacked yet, so might as well just keep going.
How's neck? Got to represent.
Have to.
All right. Unless you guys have any other questions for Coach today.
Going back, I don't know if you remember this memory though. Back in the day, I remember it was before a game. We were gonna listen to music like it was every game, and you're like, no music today. And then we're like, what are we gonna do? You pull out your phone on YouTube and throw on the Any Given Sunday speech.
I do.
And we're just like, oh shit. And then I'm just wondering, you still do that?
No. And did you like that?
It was different. Yeah. It was interesting because it was just like in the middle of the air. Where it's
I do remember that. And then afterwards, I was like, I questioned a lot of things I do. I was like, was that the right move? Like, I was like, are these guys just making fun of me as I walk out of here? Should I have done it? Because I probably like watched the movie or something. So I'm like, I'm going to show these guys this. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I didn't remember the movie at the time. I think I had like
it's a good speech.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. No,
I guess that's probably just me being lazy. I didn't want to do a speech. I'm like, I'll just put on this guy. This is way better than anything I could come up with.
Al Pacino got it.
Yeah.
Was there any reason behind that? The team on like a losing streak, and you're just like, no.
I don't know. I don't remember that part of it. I do remember playing it, and I would look at things like that and be like, oh, maybe this is something I want to play. Or I'd show like a little video or something like that, like a motivating thing, or I'd make something up. I've been known to make things up of what other teams have said or what other coaches say.
I remember
just to fuel the fire.
I remember the Archie's game. You like
the Archie's game wasn't made up. I was pissed off.
No. I knew that was real. I think you put something up in the locker room too. It was like a news snippet or something. I can't remember.
There was a news thing up. I would do that a lot. I haven't done. There's no Quincy Sun there's Quincy Sun, but there's no like Patriot Ledger and there's no like real articles. Because I remember. The one I would always put up was somebody was coaching, I think Quincy High, and they had like a full page ad when they announced him being hired, and I was like, this is crazy. I would put that up, but the Archie's thing was. Can I tell this story? Do you mind? Yeah. I was pissed off at the Archie's thing, so that was.
It's your alma mater.
That was my alma mater. Dan was playing. It was Dan's senior night.
There was a lot of storylines on that.
Yeah. And it set up perfectly that we were playing them on senior night. And it was a back and forth with coach and the AD on emails like, hey, we set up the game, and we probably had no business playing them that year. They were much better than us.
D1 team.
D1
were they
team.
Super 8 that year?
Yeah. No, they went to the Oh, no, I think that was one year they went to the state final. I don't think it was that year, but they had a core of those kids. It might have been the year they went to the state final and lost, but we're playing them and we set it up and I'm like, this is great. Like Dan's a senior. My brother Mark was coaching with me at the time. So me and Mark are on the bench and then, I have a picture with my family. It was a cool moment. It was a cool moment to have. And when I tell you it was months in advance, like trying to figure it out, and it ended up being their senior night where it worked out with their AD. It was cool. It was really cool that they did that. So when I met the coach, he said, I'm talking to him, this, stupid BS between coaches before a game. If you don't know him, it's just like, oh, how's your season going? All that stuff. And I, classic BS. How's your season going? What's going on? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, my brother Dan's on the team. He's like, oh, Dan? I'm like, Dan Gibbons. Yeah. Like oblivious to what's going on. So right there, that sounds like, well, who's this guy think he is? And then he tells me, well, I said, how's your season going? Oh, it's going pretty good. Well, we'd be in trouble tonight if we lost to you. And I was younger as a coach, and I just saw red. And I walked into that locker room, and I lost my mind. Yeah. And this was before the game. I was screaming, I'm like, who does he think he is, saying that if they lose to us? And I think it was Brendan Glenn scored with like 30 seconds left to tie it. And I think Wig made like 65 saves. Yeah, Wig we had no business being in it, but he played out of his mind. Brendan scores the goal, and then he says something in the line to Sully. Sully's handshakes were very, very strong, firm, and said something like, "Oh, you guys got one hell of a goalie." And Sully just like crushed. I mean, his hand probably still hurts. And he's like, "We got one hell of a team." He was just so pissed off. Pissed off. But I remember that moment. That those little things, I would try to use those as motivating things, little clippings, and that kind of makes me cringe that I played that in that locker room. I feel like guys would just like laugh at me now if I did that.
That Archie story fires me up.
Yeah, I was pissed off. I was really pissed off.
I remember I was a scared little freshman in the corner. No, actually, I was getting dressed in the middle of the locker room because
you don't even get a seat there.
I was in the middle of the locker room getting dressed, like looking around, like, all right, like what's going on? And then you came in, and I remember you were like in my face, kind of like you like came into me, and I was like, oh shit! And I went in like the corner, and you were just going on and on.
I was so mad. I don't know. And again, maybe I'd think of it differently. For whatever reason, I just felt like he spit right in my face. Yeah. It's like, dude, my brother's playing on the team. Like, how don't you know what's going on here? Like, you're just oblivious to the whole thing. And maybe he was.
He was playing mind games. Yeah. So who knows? Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that fired up Wig. Who knows? But Wig was unbelievable, and Brendan scored that goal. And it was, Brendan and Dan are so close friends. It was kind of the right guy to score that goal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's unreal. Yeah, those stories you just never forget. Those are the memories you'll have for a lifetime, and you just gotta appreciate them. Live in the moment too. That's why I tell the kids, like, nowadays, I'm like, you guys are literally living the best time of your life right now, and don't take it for granted, because before you know it, it's gonna be over.
I'm helping out Coach Lax at North, because whatever, I just coach things.
Keep him busy.
But I got Mike Finn's helping me out coach.
Lax star.
Oh, dude. I don't coach. I just say, Mike Finn, you do it. I'll do the schedule. I'll just stand here and make sure they show up on time. But, it's kind of the same things. We talk about the same things, even at lacrosse as with hockey. And like today, there's a senior skip day tomorrow for North Quincy. And it's like, guys, it's going to be 55 and rainy. It's the worst idea to have it. But are you part of this team or you're not part of this team? Are you going to remember your Thursday skip day at North Quincy, or are you going to remember maybe playing in a tournament game later on? And Finn, I always forget, like, I'm looking at Finn as like the lax guy. I'm like, no, I can look at him as my hockey guy too. And he's like, coach would say this all the time in the locker room. He's like, and I promise you, I never remember my Friday nights, but I will verbatim tell you about 15 games that I played in at North Quincy. So those are like the little moments, teaching moments that you try to instill in those guys.
Yeah, that's a great message for all the kids listening out there.
No senior skip days.
Yeah.
Go to practice.
No Rock Beach.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it. I don't know.
Rock, never heard of it.
Yeah.
What's that? All right, well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today. I know you've been busy, but we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule, and it's always great to catch up like this, for sure.
This was awesome, guys. I really, really appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming
on. Not gonna lie, one of the best interviews yet. It's definitely up there, for sure.
Thank you. You're just saying that.
No.
There's no more playing time, Coco. That's it.
Yeah. All right, sorry.
He's trying to get playing time for Bob.
I'm trying to get Coco over to the staff. That's what I want to get.
Yeah, no, he wants to.
Yeah,
I'll join.
He's going for the head job, though. The head job's open. No?
It is. Well, it's up in the air. I don't know.
He's coming back again?
Yeah,
he's
coming
coming
back again. Yeah. But,
no, I appreciate it, guys. This is, like I said, these are the moments that the coaching and the games and all that stuff, but when it's, 6, 7, 8 years later and we're sitting here shooting the shit, those are the moments that I really cherish. So thank you, guys. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
We'll have your high slot jersey coming soon.
I can't wait. That I can't wait for.
You're hanging up in the classroom.
Absolutely. Put it right up in the classroom with my exploding puck jerseys right there.
Hell yeah.
That could be another podcast, the exploding puck.
I know, it could, yeah. Love to have you back on to talk exploding pucks days.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was a great interview from the boys' former coach, Coach Gibbons. It was great to catch up with him. The boys kind of took a trip down memory lane there a little bit, relived the high school glory days.
Got a couple chirps in.
Oh yeah.
Gotta love Gibba though. He's a hell of a guy. Appreciate having him on today. All right, so we're gonna move into our final segment and our favorite segment, even though we haven't been great lately. We head over to the gambling corner to highlight some key matchups to end the week, and we're gonna provide our analysis to give you some of our best bets for these games. To be honest, I didn't recap last week's records. I don't know if you boys kept track of your own. I wasn't great, but we'll have the updated season standings next week. So why don't we head into the weekend matchups? Friday, there's like 2 games. Neither of them are great. So we're gonna dive into Saturday slate, which is pretty loaded. We got 4 games highlighted, and to give our best bets on some of those games.
Jesus, dude, look at all these games.
Yeah, there's like 16 games on Saturday.
That's crazy.
There's only like 2 on Friday for whatever reason.
Yeah.
First game on Saturday, it's a 12:30 early matchup. It's the boys' home team, the Boston Bruins, at home, taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Bees are 45-23-5 on the year, 22-12-2 at home, 6-4 in their last 10. They've lost their last 2. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, they're 42-22-11, 22-10-6 on the road, 3-6-1 in their last 10. They've been struggling a bit too. They lost their last game. So we got the Pens, we got the Bees back at home. What do we think, boys? Can the Bees grab another dub and get back in the win column?
Yeah, a little game before the big game for the Winter Classic in 2023 at Fenway. And both teams have been struggling. And I don't know, man. After we just like our little recap with the Bees, I'm not really feeling too confident in them right now. I'm going to go with the Pens here. Because is Malcolm gonna be back? I don't think Malcolm's gonna be back.
He's missing both games.
He's missing both games.
He's missing like 4 games. I think 4 games haven't started. I think it's the next game.
Okay, I mean that's not even gonna change my.
He's missing. Yeah, he's missing.
That was fucked what he did.
Yeah, he's missing both games against the Bruins.
Okay, that's not gonna change anything for me because that's just down. They're down 1. That's 1 guy. We're down like 2 or 3 at this point, and I think the Penguins are gonna come in and get the W.
Big balls, Bruce. He's gonna get the boys ready. Like we were talking about earlier, he's pissed at practice. He's calling out the guys. He called out Coyle like last week or 2 weeks ago, and Coyle came back, responded. Big game from Coyle, and I'm taking the Bees.
Yeah, I'm going to hop on that same ship as you, Snipsky. I'm going with the Bees, too. I love the high-intensity practice the Bees had today. I love that he's calling out some of the guys. I think the Bees are going to come out buzzing. Saturday afternoon, they usually show up for those games. And then I don't know when Pittsburgh's playing last, but tough to have to travel to Boston, play an early one, wake up early. I like the Bees here. Give me the Bruins. Big bounce-back win against a playoff-caliber team. They need it. They need to get back in the win column here. I'm going to believe in Bruce, like you guys said. Give me the Bees.
Oh, so the Pens have a 2-day rest before the game, though.
Yeah, they're at home, and then they travel.
Yeah, so it should be a good game. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be another playoff-type atmosphere. We've had a lot of those lately with the Caps, Blues, now Pens. I think that's only going to prepare us for the playoffs, so we need these type of games. Not going to help us walking in the playoffs playing like 5 cupcakes in a row, so... that should gear us up.
Penguins won the last matchup 4-2.
I like the Bees getting some revenge there. All right, another Saturday afternoon game. This one's at 3 o'clock. It's the Minnesota Wild, who currently sit second in the Central. They're traveling to St. Louis to take on the Blues, who are third in the Central. Blues are 43-20-10 on the year, 25-9-4 at home, 8-1-1 in the last 10. They've won 6 in a row. Blues are hot. Wild, 45-21-6 on the season, 19-14-4 on the road, 7-1-2 in their last 10. They've won 2 in a row. 2 hot teams right now, Minnesota, St. Louis. What side you guys taking?
I'm taking Minnesota here. They just been on a tear, dude. Tear. And I think the Blues winning streak's going to come to an end. They're just due for a loss. And just Minnesota, just like in my opinion, just a way better team, and they're firing from all cylinders right now. So I'm going to go with the Wild.
Oh, this is so tough. I'm looking over here. The Blues. I'm riding the Blues. They're my team. Other than the Bees, 25-9-4 at home. Wild aren't great traveling. I just love the way the Blues are playing. They bully teams and they kind of toy with you.
Snipsky, I'm rolling with you again. I'm going with the Blues here. I love the home record. They definitely play well at home. They've been hot, one of the hottest teams in the NHL at the moment. Definitely going to take the Blues here. I think it's going to be a tilt, though. I got another pick for you in this one. I'm going to go over here. I know we got two decent goaltenders, but Minnesota currently ranks fourth in the NHL in goals per game with 3.65, and Blues are right behind them, fifth in the NHL in goals scored with 3.64. So I'm going to go over in this one. I think it's going to be a shootout tight game at 4-3, tight one. Give me the Blues defending home ice, and give me this game going over. All right, third game we got on Saturday. Saturday's a stacked slate.
All right, there's everybody in their mother's.
It's another afternoon game, 4 o'clock. It's the Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers. This one's in Edmonton. Edmonton's 42-26-6 on the season, 23-12-1 at home, 7-2-1 in their last 10, but they've lost 2 in a row. They've cooled off a bit. Vegas 40-29-5. 19-15-2 on the road, 6-3-1 in their last 10. They did lose their last game. We talked about Vegas, man. They're scratching and clawing to get back in the playoffs. Vegas, Edmonton, what do you guys think here?
It's an easy one for me. I'm going to go with the Knights just because every time I pick the Oilers, they seem to just like score like 1 goal and let up like 7. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Knights here. And I like what Coco said. I think the Knights are going to be every game like showing up like it's like it's a business trip. You know what I mean? Like shirt and tie, like bringing their briefcase to the locker room and just getting wins.
I haven't picked the Oilers all year, and I think I'm gonna right now. Yeah, I like the Knights making the playoffs, but not winning this game. The Oilers have been playing pretty well. I mean, they lost the last 2, but they were on a 3-game win streak, and I think they're just a better team than the Knights.
I'm usually a big Oilers guy, but Bob, like you, every time I've been taking the Oilers lately, they've been screwing me. It's a goaltend. I can't trust them at all. I'm going to roll Vegas here. I think it's going to be tough to get a win here on the road, but they're desperate. They got to empty the tank, man, because they're not in a great spot to make the playoffs right now. So I'm going to have to go with Vegas, the desperate team, the hungry dog that runs faster. Give me Vegas on the money line here, rolling into Edmonton and picking up a much-needed win. I think that the Vegas is going to come down the wire. It's going to come down to like their last game, like in order to make the playoffs. Like they're going to make this interesting. I don't think they're just going to fade away and roll over and let you pat their belly. But yeah, give me Vegas. I think Vegas will make it interesting. See some desperate hockey out of Vegas. I'm going to take Vegas over Edmonton. Last game on Saturday, and it's probably the game of the week. We got the Carolina Hurricanes, who are first in the Met, traveling to Colorado to take on the Avs, who are first in the Central. Colorado's 52-14-6 on the year, 28-4-3 at home, 8-1-1 in their last 10. They've won 6 in a row. Carolina 48-18-8, 21-11-4 on the road, 6-3-1 in their last 10, and they've won 2 in a row. Canes Avs could be looking at a potential Stanley Cup Finals matchup. Who do you guys like here? This one is a big time tilt.
I'm taking the Canes, man. They're unbelievable on the road. Like they just love just snatching wins on the road. And I just like the way they've been playing lately. And it's going to be an absolute just like bloodbath.
Dogfight.
Dogfight. Yeah. It's definitely going under. Write that down, Jay Butts. That's under.
Under.
Yeah, it's going to be Kemba versus Steady Freddy, and it's going to be goal. If you score, keep the puck in this game.
Life's not short enough for the under. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going with Canes. Avalanche already have 110 points. I think they're gonna like probably take it easy that night. I don't think they're trying to lose anybody. Hurricanes.
I mean, as much as I love the Canes, they're my team. They're my pick for the Cup this year. I gotta go Avs here, dude. Avs at home are just so dangerous. And Darcy Kemper, he's been the best goalie in the league the past like month and a half, 2 months or so. I think it's going to be tough for the Canes here to come into Colorado and pick up a win. Like you guys said, though, going to be an absolute dogfight. Going to be some punches thrown back and forth here, going punch for punch. But in the end, I think the Avs come out on top. So give me the Avs money line defending the home ice.
Yeah. For a bet, should we like? I don't know if there's bets even out there for this, but do you think there's like going to be like a line for like Nate McKinnon, like anytime like Like
hack job.
Yeah, hack job or like wrist slash. Like
Anytime scumbag behavior.
Anytime slash on the ref.
yeah, there's not going to be a sportsmanship line at all for this game. There's going to be a lot of penalties probably.
Yeah, give me the over on that. Give me the over on Nathan McKinnon doing some dirtbag shit.
Yeah, I remember. Well, this is going back to the Frozen Four, but like that semifinal game hit the sportsmanship line.
Yeah,
that was
no penalty.
Yeah, that
no
was
penalty.
That was nuts. I wish I just did as a joke, like hammer the sportsmanship line because it fucking hit.
Just some good, clean hockey.
Yeah, dude.
Little Sunday bailout.
Yeah, right.
Gonna need it. All right, so talking about Sunday, we got one game we're gonna highlight on Sunday. It's the New York Islanders, who again, another team trying to make a desperate run for the playoffs. They're heading up to Toronto, north of the border, to take on the Leafs. Leafs are 47-20-6, 26-8-2 at home, 7-2-1 in their last 10. Islanders are 34-29-9, 15-6-5 on the road, 6-4 in their last 10. They did win their last game. Isles, Leafs. What are you boys thinking?
What do you think, Vinny?
I'm not betting. I'm not betting against the Islanders. I think they're gonna try to spoil like some Leafs. You know, they're trying to get their licks in before the end of the year. So I'm gonna go with the Islanders.
This one's tough to pick because you got the New York Islanders. They just play such a great neutral zone game. Like they just lock you down. You have to just even break the puck into their zone. You have to just run someone over. You know what I mean?
Blues like.
Yeah, it's Blues like. Yeah. But the thing is about that is just the Leafs are so dynamic offensively that they have the creativity in the players to penetrate that defense. And also Sorokin's been playing well. He's been making some good saves recently, and the Leafs, I think they're gonna finish the season strong. I think the Leafs are gonna take this one, but it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be a close one.
Yeah, Bob, I was thinking the same thing, dude. Two teams with two completely different styles of hockey. You got the Leafs, run and gun, high powered offense. Isles, complete opposite. Slow things down, park the bus, pack it in tight. Block shots, do the nitty gritty things. I've loved the Islanders' play lately. They've been just like a fly that just won't leave you alone. They've just been a pest. They've picked up some big wins. I think they beat the Canes the other night. I can't remember who else, but they've definitely picked up some big wins lately. I think they do it again. I think it's too little, too late for the Isles, but they're playing some great hockey lately. They're finishing the season strong. I'm gonna go Isles here. I think the Isles get an upset win on the road. I'd love to see Toronto collapse on the last stretch of the season here going into the playoffs. So I'm going to go Isles.
We'd all love to see that.
All right, so I think that wraps up our gambling corner. We got 5 games for you, 5 plays apiece. Do what you want with them. Tail us, fade us. The boys been pretty solid this year. We're all over 500. And the season stands are going to come down to the wire. We'll update you next week on those. So before we sign off today, Bob wants to educate us a little bit with his fun fact of the day.
I know it's allergy season right now.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal, right?
Brutal out there.
So when you're out driving, everyone, make sure you try not to sneeze while you're driving, especially at 60 miles per hour, because if you sneeze while driving at 60 miles per hour, your eyes are closed for around 50 feet.
Jesus.
So, yeah.
That's nuts.
Think about that. Think about that. So what do you guys think about that little fact there?
Dude, that's one of my biggest fears. Every time I have to sneeze, I'm driving on the highway. I'm like, this is it. This is how I go out.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sneeze and just go off the side of the road.
And the other fucked up thing.
Ditch.
And the other fucked up thing about sneezing too is that your heart stops for a second or something like that, which is nuts.
It's 1/10 of an orgasm.
Yeah, exactly. Dude,
fuck.
Dude, yeah. Jay Bus is driving down he's like, oh Jesus, and then he just rear ends a car. Yeah,
that's terrifying though. It's one of the worst scenarios you can be in. You're just whipping on the highway and you're like, uh-oh, here we go. You try so bad, just hold it in. You're stressed, you're straining yourself.
Yeah.
Your neck's stiff.
Yeah, no, you just hold it in and then you just shit yourself instead.
Yeah.
And you have a whole different problem. You're like,
worse.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Or you have a dip and it goes everywhere.
Oh, gee, yeah.
Nothing worse than that. Sneezing with the dip in. Yeah, top 3 worst things that could happen to you.
Yeah, so sorry if I just ruined your day there.
That's terrifying.
No, but the thing is, just trying to spread awareness for all the listeners out there, because it is allergy season right now. So everyone be careful out there driving around, especially in Massachusetts. Everyone's out driving right now, and a lot of people aren't great.
Like idiots.
Yeah, they're not great. So everyone, be careful out there. Thank you for listening to another episode of the High Slot Podcast. And
Bob's just being nice, but like 75% of you guys cannot drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got like old lady Grandma Betty White like next to you, just like, yeah, I'm just gonna switch lanes right now, and just goes over 3 lanes of traffic. It's just like, Jesus, lady, watch where you're going.
I almost said 99%, but
It's up there, honestly.
Yeah.
Everyone like wouldn't surprise me.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
you guys should probably fade me on those picks, by the way.
Oh, dude, Snipsky, you and I were on like all the same picks, dude. What the hell?
No, just the way it's been going for me.
As always, though, we'd like to thank our producer, Hedge Better Industries. They continue to revolutionize the sports betting industry, so if you haven't already, you got to go check them out over at www.hedgebetter.com. That's www.hedgebetter.com. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to yet another episode of The High Slot. Go check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at High Slot Podcast for more daily hockey content. That's all for today. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Peace.